Hi everyone, I'm Lana, and today we are reviewing the Wednesday series, directed by Tim Burton, most of the time, starring Jenna Ortega, who, if you saw X this year, will look really familiar to you. Gwendolyn Christie, you might recognize her as the badass knight from Game of Thrones. Christina Ricci, not as Wednesday, and guest starring Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman as the Addams Family parents. I just saw the Addams Family for the first time, and I loved Christina Ricci as Wednesday. She just has this deadpan sadist way about her. I loved how it was really written and expanded upon in the sequel Addams Family Values. Oh, just everything about her gave me life, and that's what made me really excited for this series, and I was really hoping that they would capture Wednesday in all of her devious little glory. So for its Thanksgiving premiere, instead of shoving turkey down my throat, I gobbled up the whole Wednesday series until I threw up. The whole series takes place in a private school called Nevermore that Morticia Addams apparently went to. It is a school for gifted children, but none of the likes that you or I have ever seen. At this school, Wednesday encounters pretty typical high school stuff. She meets the bullies, she goes head to head with the popular kids, and she gets attention from boys. I was worried after the letdown of Sabrina that this show would take the CW route, but well, let's just start with what I liked. And no spoilers, I promise. Things I liked about the Wednesday series. Jenna Ortega as Wednesday is fantastic. She is the total embodiment of the delightfully dark. She is well versed in torture devices. She has an affinity for the dark and the macabre, and she just delivers those lines so perfectly.
Which one of your spirits suggested this toe-curling tchotchke?
That's what we came for. Thing is back, and he's better than ever. His look is new and updated and never explained, but it is very reminiscent of Tim Burton's earlier Frankenweenie. He's got all the stitches. He's got like a patch of skin sewn on by hand. It's pretty gnarly looking, and I love it. And while I notice he moves slower, he has just as much personality as he ever had, and he's more than just a visual gag. He actually moves the story forward. Outside of the Addams Family, I was surprised, but not that surprised, that Gwendolyn Christie absolutely dominates every scene she's in. Every pose, and she poses a lot, every scowl, every smile, she is just crushing it. She's gorgeous, she's stunning, in a very Lady D Resident Evil kind of way. Oh my god, step on me, holy shit. Much to my excitement, the story is actually pretty intriguing. Mostly taking place at Wednesday's new school, I felt like it was kind of a higher production version of Goosebumps. You know, there's a lot of mystery, a lot of misdirection, and I felt like the characters, you just couldn't necessarily trust any of them. It felt very much like an R.L. Stine kind of story, but not in a bad way. While the Addams Family movie takes place mostly in the Addams residence, the Wednesday series gives us a broader view of the fantasy reality that the Addams Family fits into. So while their family is weird, the other families are even weirder. Things I had mixed feelings on. I had mixed feelings about the high school setting in particular. A lot of the times, I felt like we were in a Harry Potter universe. Strangely, sometimes I wanted more of that, and sometimes I wanted less. From the cliques to the costumes, the dialogue was rather cookie cutter, but you know, maybe that's just high school.
You're in black and white, like a living Instagram filter.
Ignore him.
Luckily, around mid-season, we mostly leave the school and dive into the mystery surrounding the town around Nevermore. And once you're in that town, it becomes very clear why the series was released on Thanksgiving. I'll give you 2 words: Pilgrim Town.
Why are you three just like religious fanatics?
We're pilgrims?
I had mixed feelings about the visual style. I personally prefer the goth look of the old Addams Family. I like the cobwebs and the dust and the imperfections. I like the wallpaper just peeling off of the walls. It's an uninviting house, and it's perfect for the Addams Family. Unfortunately, in this series, everything is really bright and everyone's wearing blue and stripes and checkerboard. It looks like it's made for Instagram reels. Maybe that's their target audience, but it's not something that I wanted to see, and it's definitely not something I expected with Tim Burton at the helm. Things I didn't like, and I have to start off with the casting. Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia Addams is acceptable at best. As much as I like her and appreciate her, it very much looks like she's cosplaying as Morticia Addams, and as a guest star, show showed up to the set without having seen the original movie. She has all of the right movements, which is probably more of a credit to the tightness of her dress.
Finally, a kind word for your mother.
But she lacks a certain intrigue that made Angelica Houston so unique and memorable. And Luis Guzman is Gomez. Oh my god, you have to be kidding me. He is not a proper Gomez, I'm sorry. In my opinion, that's just the wrong pick through and through. He is just playing himself and really has no business being the head of such an iconic family. And the leading man in a romantic relationship with the Morticia Addams, I just don't believe it. I don't see it. They kiss and I cringe. That's not the reaction you want. You've ruined my favorite couple. Well done. Well done, you did it.
You guys are making me nauseous. Not in a good way.
Pugsley, Fester, and Lurch. You know what? Honestly, not even worth talking about. As for the other characters, Wednesday's male love interests were confusing. I was confused about the relationships, I couldn't tell them from one another, and I don't think they could either. They seemed just as confused as I was. Another relationship that was a bit of a letdown was Wednesday's relationship with her parents. I enjoy the Addams Family dynamic when they're all together. You know, they all kind of exist as a family unit that's weird and they're out of place compared to the rest of the world, but they work together. In the series, Wednesday has a very contentious relationship with her parents that isn't really explained other than the very fact that she's a teenager, which serves the story fine and maybe that's enough, but it's just not how I like to see them interact. Overall, I was really happy with the series. This show is not afraid to kill people, and like Wednesday, that's something I really respect. The conflict and the resolution were really satisfying. It tied up really nicely, and I'm really excited to see what's in store for the next seasons because there is definitely more Wednesday to come. If you're a fan of the Addams Family movies, there's a lot to like here, and trust me, there are worse things you could be streaming this holiday. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I've got way more plans for the future, and I'm really excited about it. If you saw the Wednesday series, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you soon. I forgot how to do this. Okay, the sadism. I don't know if I can do this. And I forgot the rest of, step on me. Luckily, that was really sassy. I like the wall people.
People under the stairs.
The dog is sneezing. Bless you. I forgot everything I just said. Pilgrim Town.